How's it going, everybody? ZoinkMeister Patrick here, and today we're just gonna watch the credits. That's it. That's literally this is gonna be the video, guys. So, final thoughts on the game. Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA. That was crazy. I mean, so this isn't the full game, of course. I'm just talking about the single player campaign and the other bits of the single player content. I haven't fully explored everything. I haven't played like every version of every class and every map or every style or whatever. But I kind of have a good idea for at least what the campaign involved. And it was definitely short and fast. And that's kind of why, I played this, I guess, because I knew it was going to be short and fast. But there's like a lot that happened. I mean, this story covered the span of, it started with the Death Star being destroyed at the end of 6, and it ended with the end of 7, the beginning of 8, which is crazy. That's like, basically a 36-year time span, or no, I guess it'll just be 30 years. So I believe between 6 and 7, there's a 30-year time gap. So, well, to be fair, most of that we skipped over. So the base game covered a period of about 6 years between the destruction of the Death Star and the Battle of Jakku. And then they did like a 24-year time skip to the beginning of episode 7, or pre-beginning of episode 7. And then this story, I think, only took place, seems like, over the course of maybe a week at the most, maybe a couple days, I don't know. But that was kind of cool. I like that this story coincided with 7. I'll bet that the reason the second half of the story was delayed was probably because it came out before the movie 7. Maybe. I don't honestly know the timeline for all this. But that would make sense why they had to delay the this massive spoiler that the main characters win, I guess. I don't know. I can't believe they named the droid Dio in this, and then there's a droid in episode 9 also named Dio. That seems like poor communication, but I don't know why they're so determined to use that name Dio. For anyone who doesn't know, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the main villain, main antagonist for the first 3 seasons, is Dio. So, and then Dio's also the music artist. That's where they got the name from. So, that's that. As far as, so the story, I don't know, it felt really fast paced. All the character growth felt like there wasn't any reason for it. It was just like, oh, I feel this way and now I don't anymore. And we're just gonna move forward with that. And it's like the skeleton structure was there, I guess. A story of a stormtrooper who realizes that there's something wrong with the Empire and switches to the Resistance, or the New Republic, and then the New Republic eventually becomes the Resistance, but she doesn't join the New Resistance until her husband dies, and then she joins the Resistance. It seems like a cool idea, but like every single decision, except for this one was better. I feel like this later half of the story felt like it made more sense. Like all the characters, like motivations and actions. So what was Hask doing? Like Hask was trying to hunt down Luke, I assume, but did he? I don't think he did. And obviously we still don't know where Snoke came or how Snoke joined the First Order, whatever. I mean, this didn't help that at all. I assume when he said the old man, though, he was talking about Luke, not Snoke. So I do know who Snoke is, guys. Like, I've seen episode 9. I'm saying that, like, how did he replace, the Admiral, and, Garrus, what did they say? They said his name. Gallius Rax. Gallius Rax dies in Aftermath. Spoilers for Aftermath, but, it's a good book series. No, it's not. It's not. The third book was good, and it made the first two better by association. But Gallius Rax was Sloane, then Admiral Sloane. We still don't know what happened to Admiral Sloane. This didn't help that, but it makes sense. I mean, the thing I'm not thinking of is I think this is a lot earlier in the new canon that I'm thinking, because I'm thinking about it in the perspective of the new canon's been around for quite a while. I mean, we've had 7, 8, and 9 have happened, but when this game came out, only episode 7 existed. So. They have the schematics for the Dreadnought. I don't know if the Dreadnought, I believe the Dreadnought really was the ship from 8. So it could have been like a hint as to what was going to happen in 8. Resistance was on the run. The Dreadnought was chasing after them. And the beginning of episode 8 actually, I think, makes more sense. I feel like this is a kind of an interesting bridge gap. So we kind of know a little bit about how all that happened. Honestly, I would have liked to see more of it, though. I mean, it felt, they just kind of said it was happening, right? which isn't any better. I feel like I don't know if we got too much more information, but the new guns were cool. I like the design of the First Order guns. They seemed stronger than the guns from the previous era, but that was just like on paper. In practice, I think they were kind of the same thing. There was definitely that really difficult challenge room right at the end, and that kind of was cool, I guess, because like it's the last thing you do in the entire game, so it makes sense you'd have a super challenging area there. And so that was kind of fun, I guess. I didn't realize it was going to be the last room in the game, so I just kind of was like, man, why am I so bad? But like, I think that was the point. I think it was supposed to be hard. And the flame troopers, man, those guys did so much damage. But otherwise, it was cool. It was fun. I liked meeting Zay, and Shriv is still alive, which is awesome. I love that Zay and Shriv are still Inferno Squad, and there could be more stories about them in the future in other mediums potentially, or even in the video games. You know, we could have a dedicated Inferno Squad game. That might be cool. All the mechanics work. It's definitely like carried over from the multiplayer. You can feel that, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, this is a multiplayer focused game that just happens to have a campaign, and I feel like the campaign did something. I don't know. It was definitely short, but I feel like I don't think it was their focus. I think they just wanted a campaign to have a campaign. And gave me something to play, because I don't play multiplayer. I would have never purchased this game if it was multiplayer only. And to that effect, there's actually a lot of things that I'm disappointed by in the single player, like outside of the campaign. It kind of annoys me that you can't play. I mean, there's the co-op, but there's no split screen on the PC version, which is my own fault, I guess. I should have gotten the console version, but it's unfortunate. I don't know why they took out split screen for the PC version. I mean, I have 2 controllers. I have 2 USB ports on my PC here, you know, it's whatever. So yeah, I doubt I'll be playing this game very much anymore. I don't know, I might try the co-op, like online, whatever, but I don't know. It's not the same as, like, you know, to me, Battlefront was always a fun game where I could, you know, if a friend came over, we could just plug in 2 controllers and play. And I did have a cousin come over recently who wanted to play Battlefront, but I would have had to whip out my like ancient original Xbox, which I couldn't find the cables for, so I wasn't able to do that. I would have, but I couldn't find the cables. So unfortunately, that couldn't happen, which means that I don't have any way of playing Battlefront 2, like Pandemic's Battlefront 2, with 2 people. I can play it with 1 person on the PC. I have it for Steam, but I don't know. It's disappointing. I really wish there was a way that I could play a split screen game on my PC. And I just don't know how to do that. So that's too bad. Even Resident Evil 5, which we're playing on the channel, actually, I bought it for PC, but it also cannot do split screen co-op on PC. It's just crazy. But they added a crosshair, so I don't know what that's all about. But you know, on the PlayStation version, you know, we have that tiny little red dot that you can't see. They actually added a crosshair for the PC version, so that might not have been a bad idea. But yeah, I don't know. So, but that's a different game. This game. This game, I don't know, it was fun. I'm definitely glad I played it. I was originally just planning on watching a playthrough of it, but then I was like, no, like I can buy the game and play it myself. I wanted to try it out anyway. I've heard it was good, and I got to play as some clones in the single player, like instant action, which is fun. I like playing as clones. I like Clone Wars, the era, better than any of the other eras, personally. Which is part of why I like the prequels better than the original trilogy. Because hot take, but the movies are my least favorite part of the Star Wars universe. I actually I like the books and I like the games, especially the games, I believe, are what got me into it originally. And I read the books as a kid and stuff like that. And so never really liked any of the movies. I say now that Episode 9 is my favorite movie, but that's coming from a perspective of I don't really like any of the movies at all. I mean, they're really good in that they're the foundation of the Star Wars universe. And to me, that's what they should try to do. I understand to other people they're good movies and what they want them to be is good movies. But to me, the more they add to the Star Wars universe, the more like they're like the foundation, whatever. So the wider the foundation, the bigger the building can be. Or the stronger the foundation, the bigger the building can be. So that's kind of what I look for when in the Star Wars universe. And so for me, I really like the prequels better than the original trilogy, because the prequels added a lot to the universe outside of like the main characters, whatever. Like the fact that there's a whole galactic senate and all the like politics and stuff like that. I know people hate the politics in the movies, but I really like it because that adds that makes it a universe. Like that's how, I don't know, I feel like that's how a world works. Like someone's got to be doing something, right? There's got to be politics in existence, even if we don't have to see it, even if no one wants to see it. I mean, the fact that they introduce the fact that it exists and how, you know, governments run and stuff like that, I think that's a cool idea. And so, but I mean, more than that, you know, whatever, the politics stuff aside, that's, you know, whatever. If it was just politics, I wouldn't like it. What I like about it is the Clone Wars and the clones and the Federation of Independent Systems, the Separatists. They're cool. I like the droid army, you know. I mean, they're dumb. Like, the droids themselves are not very smart, but I like the idea of, you know, I think it's pretty cool because I've actually, from what I've heard, the co-op, like online co-op, does a really good job of conveying, if you play the what am I saying? The Republic, the Galactic Republic era, where you play as the clones. They basically just send like wave upon wave of droids after you, and you have to like fight them back, and it gives you like a good idea of like what it feels like to be a clone. With like, you know, even if the computer is not very smart, the fact that there's so many of them, like bullets are bullets and they'll kill you, even if they aren't aimed very smartly. You know, if you have 100 battle droids all shooting at you at the same time, you don't have to think very hard to just point and pull the trigger. So I don't know. I always thought it was cool. I always loved the concept of it, versus like these really smart clones that can like do everything they can to try to survive, versus like a very outnumbered number of whatever, like droids, you know, outnumbering them by a massive degree. And the droids aren't smart at all, and so they have to win through intelligence, not through brute strength. I don't know. It's a cool idea, but these are the credits for this game, which I feel like this game sort of encompasses a lot of Star Wars, and I think that's good. I think it does a good job in that. The campaign doesn't. The campaign focuses just on Inferno Squad, and it follows the story of Iden Versio. But I don't think that Iden Versio is like a hindrance to the universe in any way. I think, as Leia put it, the universe was better for her being in it. Because I think the Inferno Squad as a concept is pretty cool. I don't know where they're going to go with it, but they were a fun group of people. I really liked the book. I really did. I thought, I mean, now that I've played the game, the book felt like contrived, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but the book didn't tie into the game at all, even a little bit. So my favorite character from the book dies at the end and wasn't in the game, and so that was sad. But we saw Hask and Gleb, I guess, was in fact in the book. But I don't know, none of it felt the same. Like, all the dynamics between the characters was totally different. I feel like Hask becoming the like super evil First Order guy was fit with the fact that, I guess like once you've committed to something, then, you know, you got to see it through. But I don't know, it was cool. I like where Hask ended up going as like the villain, but I didn't like the fact that they kind of just like glossed over the fact that Hask and Iden grew up on the same planet as like childhood friends and all that, and then like it felt very cold towards each other, the whole series, and then Del Meeko felt like he came out of nowhere. Like, he was cool, but like, I don't know, in the book I kind of like assumed he was just kind of like, oh yeah, the support guy, you know, he's just kind of there. He has no ambition of being the leader. He just kind of is helpful. He put in a lot of work, whatever. They say in the book that he had a lot of prior experience. Like, he was even on Scarif. Yeah, he was in the Battle of Scarif. I think they showed that here when we were playing as Kylo Ren. I would have liked to see more current era or whatever, what is it called? Sequel trilogy. I would have liked to see more sequel trilogy characters. Like, seeing Leia was cool, but I would have liked to, like, Rey or Finn, or, I mean, I guess that, like, they're busy, like, you know, like, where this takes place, we couldn't really have seen any of them because I guess they're busy being in episode 7, but we saw Kylo beforehand. But yeah, I guess we could have seen Poe. I think it would have been cool if Poe showed up, like before episode 7 starts, whatever. Like pre-7 Poe, I think would have been useful. But that didn't happen, so that's okay. Yeah, we could have had a space battle even with Poe. Like, even that first mission we do where we're playing as Iden and we have to like defeat Jasek. It would have been cool if we played as Poe there, and then like right at the end, Iden was like, oh, I'm gonna go down to the planet, whatever. And then Poe gets a call and is like, oh, I have to go, something's happening. we have like what I don't remember how 7 starts, but yeah, it starts with Finn. How does Poe show up? I don't remember, but he's like, oh, something's happening on Jakku, whatever, or something like that. I have to go, and so he like flies off, and they were like, oh, okay, wow, I guess 7's starting. There's no indication that 7 was starting. Like, we just kind of like at some point it was like, oh, I guess we were in 7 that whole time because the Starkiller base blew up in the background. It's like, I don't remember them talking about that at all. How did I miss that? I don't know. Could have been I just don't pay enough attention during the cutscenes. I'm always out of it. I don't know why, but it just felt like a weird random side story. But yeah, so I guess we probably prevented reinforcements showing up on Starkiller base, which allowed Rey the time she needed to do that, and Poe and Finn. And then from there, they immediately started running away, and then the Dreadnought chases them down. Yeah, I guess between 7 and 8, there's like 0 time. I don't know. I really don't know enough about the sequel trilogies, mostly because there's not really any information outside of the movies, and I just haven't seen the movies that many times. Just once, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, I've seen them all twice, actually. Yeah, I saw 7 twice, 8 twice, and 9 twice. So, but there you go. What else do I have to say about this game? Controls were nice. They got confusing for me, but I think it was just my fault because I don't play PC games. So yeah, it was. See, even now I'm like, it's X to crouch, C to change perspectives, or Alt will alternatively crouch, and then Q and E, and another button, F. Q, E, and F were my abilities, and then I had another ability on 3 and another ability on F2. But I was really bad at hitting those. Like, I'm not even sure what button I'm supposed to... Like, 2 feels easier for me to hit than... I don't know. Maybe 3 is equally as easy. And then F2? I don't know. 3 and F2 are, like, right above each other on my keyboard. I'm just not used to hitting these things. So, like, I would try to hit 3, but then I end up hitting, like, E at the same time, whatever. Or I try to hit F2, and I'd end up hitting 3 sometimes. I actually don't think that happened. I don't know. F2 just feels really far away. I'm just not used to using keyboard. That's what it comes down to. Somehow when I went to hit E, I'd somehow hit F. I think that happened a lot. Or no, G. When I went to hit G, I'd hit F a lot. That is a problem I have. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's just my own issues with keyboard and mouse. The mouse worked for me fine though. It was kind of nice. Although playing with a lightsaber with a mouse, I don't know. I don't think it's any better than a controller. But and then flying with a mouse, I've actually seen some flying on the controller. I've never actually tried flying with a controller myself, but I've seen like other Let's Plays fly with a controller, and it looks really janky. So it could just be that this game's always janky to fly in. And I ended up getting pretty good, I think, with the mouse towards the end. Like, I felt like my flying was pretty smooth. And it felt smooth, and I felt good being smooth, you know? So, wow, localization, voice talent, Mexican Spanish. I didn't know this was a thing. How many Spanishes are there in this game? I've not been watching these credits, actually. I know the whole point of watching the credits is to watch the credits, but it's more gives me an opportunity to talk about my thoughts about the game. Like, what would I rate this campaign? If I were to just rate the campaign, ZoinkMeister score, ZoinkMeister a Fisher score. Yeah, this is the non-Mexican Spanish. Francisco Javier Martinez. Why do you have Martinez twice? What? That's weird, right? Am I crazy? There's a... Oh my goodness. Martinez. Juan Ramon Lopez Cruz Juan Logar, I guess. Juan, oh my god, some of these names are huge. I don't even know what that Lucas is. Shmielowski. Right at the top now, in the middle. That's funny. Man, I'm bad at reading letters with like all the things on them. I don't know enough like about letters in other languages. What was I going on about? Yeah. Watching credits, right? No, I don't know. Oh yeah, score. That's right, score for the campaign. I'd give this like a, honestly, probably like a B-. I think is safe. Yeah, like a B or a B-. Probably B-. And I don't think, it's one of those things where I've talked in the past where I don't think a game needs to be long for me to enjoy it. In fact, I tend to enjoy games less if they're too long, or I don't enjoy them less, I just don't try them. I don't have time to play really long games. So I like games that are short and get to the point. But I think this game was too short for the story it was trying to tell. I think a game can be this length and be enjoyable. It's just that I think they tried to do too much with the length that they had, and I don't think it worked well. It made a lot of character moments feel like they just came out of nowhere, and just kind of stuff happened. A lot of stuff happened. Like, you can't argue that nothing happened in this game. A lot happened in this game, but it's just like everything that happened felt so arbitrary. It was like, oh, okay, I guess this is happening now. Oh boy. So I don't know. That's how I feel about it. Hopefully these credits don't go on all day. They might though. They might. They just might. Madrid test team. Why do we need a separate test team for Madrid? Maybe just to hear all the voice lines? I don't know. The repeated like background characters I wasn't a fan of, especially the like Knight Brothers Zabrox. That felt very strange. It was like there shouldn't be this many like Knight Brothers Zabrox just kind of running around in the universe. But the Duros, that's what Shriv is. It was kind of cool that we got to see Shriv. I like Shriv. Shriv was in some of the comics, I think. I don't know what he's originally from. I assume Shrouded Empire. I don't know though. But he's cool. I like that he's like a new canon character. Like, I don't know if he was in the old canon at all, but I really like. I imagine he's got to be new canon specific because he's a Duros. I don't think Duros. I don't know if they existed in the old canon. But yeah, I think he's cool. I like him a lot. I'd like to see a Duros Jedi. Even I think a lot of people, whenever they see any species in the Star Wars universe, they're like, but what would a Jedi look like? Like a Jedi Hutt or a Jedi Wookiee. Jedi Wookiee. That's cool. There's what is his name? Not Gonki. I was gonna say Gonki. Gonki's from this series. I don't remember his name. He's from the Clone Wars, though. TV show. There's I can't think of his name now. But there's this Padawan Jedi Wookiee. And it's like, man, I want to know what happened to that kid. I hope he's still alive somewhere. I want him to show up in like Fallen Order 2 or something. Oh my goodness. That'd be cool. And the PlayStation 5 has been announced, by the way, as of this recording. It was just recently announced. And they said that there's going to be a sequel to Marvel's Spider-Man, which has appeared on the channel in the past. So more, we'll probably do that too, because I really like Spider-Man. I want to do the DLC. I don't know if I want to do it for the channel or not. I guess I leave that up to you guys if someone wants to see that still. But I definitely want to play through the DLC before playing through Spider-Man 2. I don't remember when that's coming out. I think it's 2020. I think it's holiday 2020. So, but we have a series coming up to replace Doom, so that's already decided. We're recording that this Friday, and then as far as replacing Battlefront, again, I'm gonna replace it with the game that was originally supposed to be here. Hopefully you guys like it. It's another shooter. It feels like I've played in a lot of shooters recently. But again, this series was never meant to be on the channel, but I'm glad it is. I think people enjoyed it. I liked playing through it with you guys, and having anyone who's around for it. I don't know who stayed for the credits, but if you did, then hey, you know what? Good on you. It's kind of my time to talk, and I don't get very many opportunities just to sit here and tell you guys what I'm thinking, whatever. I can even say thank you if I wanted to. Although I said thank you at the end of the series, but bigger thank you. Thank you in general, right? We're at 500 subscribers, so we're halfway to our goal of 1,000 subscribers. And once we reach that goal, as far as I know, we always want to push to make the channel bigger and bigger. But as far as like actually asking for a specific number of subscribers, I believe at 1,000 we'll be satisfied. I actually looked up recently in our like analytics that 95% of the people who watch our videos are not subscribed. Only 5% of our viewers are subscribed, which is hilarious to me, because I've heard other channels complain about being at like 50% or whatever. I'm like you don't know the pain of a tiny channel. And it's funny because I don't know how long I'll be calling our channel tiny. Probably until we hit 1,000. I'll probably start calling it small. But for now, while we're below 1,000, I think honestly anything less than 1,000 is tiny. Especially, very special thanks to George Lucas. Cool. Especially since that's a lot of voice talent. Good on them. I don't like when companies use the exact same voice actors for everything all the time. I think it's good to like use people. Oh, look at that, Daisy Ridley's in this. Probably more people if I knew their names. So yeah, I think it's a good idea to like reuse voices sometimes, especially like where appropriate, whatever. But it's one of those things where like, oh, Matthew Mercer's in this. Who did he play? I don't know. I probably actually even have looked that up at some point. Luke. He plays Luke. That's right. The young Luke, I believe, is Matthew Mercer. I think I might have totally made that. Original Star Wars music by John T. Williams. Good on ya, John T. The London Symphony Orchestra. That's who was all of our copyright strikes in the series are for. We've only had 2, I believe, although this one might be a 3rd, because I'm guessing this is all copyrighted music. Although I think all of it's been copyrighted music. It's just a matter of when YouTube recognizes it and says, hey, that's not cool. And I get it. It is theirs, right? Like, it's not my music. But, you know, it's not going to stop me from doing this, I guess. I'm trying to show off these games. I don't know. It's always kind of a weird thing, because you can't show off movies and then talk over them, because none of it's your content. Whereas when you play a game, your experience with the game is supposedly unique to you. And so therefore, you can show it, you can record it and post it and be like, hey, this is my experience with the game. Versus with a movie, you can't say it's your experience with the movie, because the movie's going to be exactly the same every time. And that's what makes games unique, is that your interaction with them is what makes them yours. And it's cool. And that's true for any video game, is that your own personal experience makes it your video game, you know, your video game experience. Whereas a movie, you can watch a movie and someone else can watch a movie and you both watch the same movie. That's how that goes. But especially with like bigger, wider variety games like Breath of the Wild, right? You can play through Breath of the Wild and have a totally different experience from someone else who plays through Breath of the Wild. And that's cool. It's cool that those games can be sort of, you know, for each individual person. And then it kind of makes it weird when you like, you know, because I think people want to share those experiences. Like, wow, I had a good experience with this. I want someone else to have a good experience. But then the experience they have, sort of what made it good for you, could potentially be, especially for video games, like your own unique interaction with it. And then trying to like have someone else have that experience, they're going to have a different unique interaction with it. And they might enjoy that or they might not enjoy that. But them having your experience with it won't be the same as when you had your experience with it, because you having your experience was the fact that it was your experience that made it fun. Whereas them having your experience, they're not having their experience. And so they're not having the same experience you were in that sense. But them having their experience is also not having the same as you having your experience, because your experience was different from their experience. And it's crazy. But with a movie, one person watched the movie, the other person watched the movie, they saw the same movie. They could feel differently about that movie, of course, because each person's different. But with video games, you can have a different, like, video game, whatever. I don't know, it's cool. It's cool, especially games that like allow for that difference. I think some games are less like Bound. I don't know. I'm pretty sure everyone who played through Bound or Sea of Solitude probably had a similar experience, unless you like figured something out differently, you know, like puzzles, whatever might be different. That's why I said Bound first, or What Remains of Edith Finch. I think that game's just like pretty straightforward. It's more of like a movie that you're playing. But my goodness, this is a long set of credits. Jeez, I don't know how long I've been sitting here. I'm kind of way to speed this up. I don't want to push any buttons. No? Nope. Okay. Sometimes you can speed up credits by like pressing the down on your controller, but I'm not a controller, so I tried pressing S and didn't do anything. I don't even know what we're looking at this point. Sunny side up, creative. Ooh. We've got to be there. Okay. Oh, Battlefront babies. Oh, Tamriel Branval and Demir Koscioglu and Ronjali. Oh, that's not too many babies. In loving memory of, are these all the people who died during the process? My goodness. Less people than babies. So net gain, I guess. That's Wally Oliveira? What? Was their actual name Wally? I think that's kind of cool. Special thanks, Battlefront Game Charger. No tauntauns were harmed in the making of this game. There wasn't a single tauntaun in the game. I mean, it's fine. Yay! That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you guys around in the next series. Hope you show up. Hope you enjoy it. I hope we can just continue having a good time on this channel. I love having you guys here, and I hope to see you all in the future. Have peace in your hearts, and have a zoink in your outs.